Hello, welcome again. This is week 3 of MBS Fromm's class. I'm going to read a book again from a passage from Eric Fromm's book, Man for Himself. This time I want to talk about what personalities and temperaments have to do with your life and how they were formed. So this is a passage from 60. I'm going to skip around on it. Here it begins about halfway down the page. The character of the child is molded by the character of its parents, in response to whom it develops. The parents and their methods of child training, in turn, are determined by the social structure of their culture. The average family is the psychic agency of society, and by adjusting himself to his family, the child acquires the character, which later makes him adjusted to the tasks he has to perform in social life. He acquires that character which makes him want to do what he has to do, and the core of which he shares with most members of the same social class or culture. Skipping down. These differences are partly due to the differences of the personalities of the parents, talking about the impact or the social relationships with one person and everyone else. And to the differences, psychic and material, of the specific social environment in which the child grows up. But they're also due to the constitutional differences of each individual, particularly those of temperament. Genetically, the formation of the individual character is determined by the impact of its life experiences, the individual ones and those which follow from the culture, on temperament and physical constitution. The environment is never the same for two people, for the differences in constitution makes them experience the same environment in a more or less different way. Skipping down. If, on the other hand, a person's behavior is rooted in his character, it is charged with energy and changeable only if a fundamental change in a person's character takes place. And what this is basically talking about is how our past experiences make up our present experiences. That our families, that the environment we grow up in, all have a sort of impact on how we grow up, as opposed to just genetic temperament. And how much we know about genetic temperament, I'm not really sure. I can't imagine that genetic temperament has a lasting effect on people because habits, I believe, are a big influence on how you react to daily life. And your parents, to some degree, have a say in this. The way they talk to you, the way they treat you as a child has major impacts on how you develop, and things that you don't even remember. As our teacher says, things that you don't even remember that have impacted you could have some sort of positive or negative effect way in the future to today. And the fact that you don't remember it makes it very problematic, because it might not have even been intended for you if it was criticism, or it could have been false, or anything that could create a problem today. And what we talked about was how past civilizations, from looking at the stars, were able to make these various stories that would be able to predict when spring was coming or when winter was coming. And these played very big roles for how they ran their agriculture and everything in their daily life. Well, not daily, but seasonal lives. But the problem came when these stories started became rumors and myths of their own. They became religions. Now, I'm not saying that all religions are fake. I'm just saying that all religions have some sort of historical and scientific base in reality. And this kind of validates it as things that could happen. These religions sometimes take these stories to the extreme, which is something that can be problematic at times when really religious cults can take place. But anyway, these stories are like our own stories, in which we have in which we have our own stories. What was I saying? It's like our own stories in which we relate to past experiences, and these experiences could have become wildly out of control later in our lives. And it's because we don't even remember it. It's just like the stars, we just don't remember it, and it comes back and bites us in the, well, you know what. And this, we need to be aware of these stories that we carry, these burdens that we lug on our back, and all these different things. I don't know what the word is, but anyway, that was what Eric Fromm, I believe, is trying to say in that passage. And in class we've talked about this. Sorry, that's a sink going somewhere in the house. I don't know why it reverberates here. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yes, Eric Fromm, that is what he was saying. So be aware of that, and happy living.